The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority spokesman, George Eneita, in an interview with The Punch on Sunday, said the agency had done its job and will not engage in a media fight with anybody over the claims they made through the chief executive Farouk Ahmed that Dangote's diesel has more sulfur content than the imported one. According to Eneita, the authority has about 15 engineers and scientists embedded in the Dangote refinery whose report about the refinery's sulfur content will be out today. That is Monday. And reacting to Dangote's allegation that the NMDPRA was giving licenses to some traders to import dirty fuel into Nigeria last week, Ahmed argued that it was the Dangote fuel that had a larger content of sulfur.
Oh, well, I think, interestingly, we might not get to see the end of this quickly. But let's await the report, because, again, it's we should understand the modus operandi of this. The engineers and scientists will give reports, they will do their tests, and then based on the test. And Dangote has also made a very huge allegation, a huge claim, claiming that it's where other importers and interestingly, aside Dangote, those other importers would also have their own diesel testing, and we would have a report on all of this. I just hope that we will not play politics with this, because one thing that is spurring concern for many is that it seems like there is a ploy to frustrate the effort of, the investment of one person against the other. But I think we should not also forget that there are expected standards, and those standards cannot be lowered because it applies to one person or the other.
And of course, one of the allegations that Ahmed also made was that the refinery, which has been selling diesel and aviation fuel in Nigeria for months, is yet to be licensed.
So he
said that he's at the pre-commissioning stage.
Let's listen to him.
About supply of petroleum products nationwide, and the claims by some media houses that we're trying to scuttle Dangote refinery. That is not so. Dangote refinery is still in the pre-commissioning stage. It has not been licensed yet. We haven't licensed them yet. They are still in pre-commissioning. I think they're about 45% completion rather. So we cannot rely heavily on one refinery to feed the nation, because the Dangote is requesting that we should suspend or stop all importation of petroleum products, especially AGO and jet kero, and direct all marketers to the refinery. That is not good for the nation in terms of energy security, and that is not good for markets because of monopoly. So in terms of quality, currently the AGO quality in terms of sulfur is the lowest, and far as West African requirement of 50 ppm. Dangote refinery, as well as some modular refineries like Walter Smith's refinery, Arada refinery, they produce between 650 to 1,200 ppm. So in terms of quality, their quality is much, much inferior to the imported quality.
Now, a lot of issues here.
My English is
said.
Terrible. Please define monopoly.
Why are you looking for the definition of monopoly?
Because if as a businessman, I'm trying to set up a business in your country and I'm facing this much, why would my friends also be encouraged to come and create such business in this country?
Why wouldn't they be?
Are you not following the monopoly that you're trying to fight?
I don't understand. If you are also bringing other persons on board, it's because you need to liberalize the market.
I am saying that if you're frustrating me this much trying to start the business, how would my friends...
I don't know what you mean by frustration. I think it's important that we say this. Before Sean takes that video, when they talk about commissioning in the petroleum sector, there are levels to it. I know that in the engineering there's something they call 0 to 100% completion level. There are levels to it. There is, I think there's a land preparation, civil or foundation, structural, that's still incorporate, and a whole lot. Now, by commissioning, it is not talking about, that maybe the products have not. Now, don't forget, there are also processes to even the products that they have, the AGOs that they produce. So, if they are saying that it's not been commissioned yet, it is not a ploy to frustrate Dangote. I also have a problem with coming to the public.
No.
to say this.
The frustration that I'm talking about is not even about what Ahmed said. I'm talking about first the allegation that it wasn't supplied crude and that it's not being supported. There was the allegation of what went down when his part of this refinery got burned, and a lot of things surrounding it not working yet.
What Ibuku is saying is, if an investor has to go through this kind of fiery,
how will other people be encouraged to come?
How would you ask people to come? That's also giving credence to what you see in Daily Trust this morning. Dangote said, "My friend who warned against investing in Nigeria now laughing at me."
Do you get?
Now, I quite understand his plight, okay? I quite understand his plight. However, and as I often say, a capitalist sets up an investment essentially for profit. So when these bottlenecks, which most times are unwarranted in our own case, come up, they are part of the risk of investment. They are part of the risk of investment. Now, I'm not justifying whatever must have happened, whatever shenanigans that the Nigerian style bottlenecks comes with. But we should not also lose sight of the fact that I don't want to take I'm trying not to take sides here, but the fact remains that there are procedures, and those procedures have to be followed.
Okay,
absolutely.
Here is what I think by 8 o'clock we'll delve into this properly. But you needed to listen to Dangote. I mean, Dangote was talking about how they test their diesel, how they carry out those tests in such a way that they are reducing the sulfuric content gradually. And he promised that in the next 1 or 2 weeks they will be at less than 10. However, I was worried that Farouk came to the public with this statement. Really worried about that. The fact that he came to the public to talk about this. It's really important that you understand whether it's being frustrated or not. And then Farouk said something that really got me. He said that the local content, the local AGO, they are substandard compared to the imported ones. Is he saying that we should jettison the local content and just focus our attention on importing, this product from abroad? I mean, how so much so about local refining?
Yeah, I would not want to impugn that into his statements. However, yes, I get that. I would not want to impugn that. I would want to believe that he's saying, and I don't forget that Farouk coming out was coming after Dangote's allegation, okay, and not before. So it was a reaction. I want to believe that the Dangote refinery is also working assiduously to ensure a reduction in sulfuric content. Even the statement by Dangote himself does not conflict with what Farouk has said, that there is a higher sulfuric content in the local AGO compared to what they have from abroad, and it is expected. You don't expect a plant, okay, a production plant that's been in existence for years, or for years definitely, or even decades, to be at the same at par, okay, in terms of sulfuric content of its product with a production plant that just started.
But Dangote implied that when he was talking. Let me just quote part of what he said. He challenged the regulator to compare the quality of refined product from his refinery with those imported, advocating for an impartial assessment to determine what best serves the interests of Nigerians.
We hear from him, maybe when we return, a bit of it. But at 8 o'clock, we'll just look at it. I mean, is there a battle against the life of Dangote's refinery? Let's take a break and return. Stay with us.